So you just signed the contract, you wire the 30% deposit. The factory manager smiled and promised you a 60-day lead time. Time for your new footwear collection. You immediately jump on Shopify, set a launch date for exactly 75 days from now, and start running pre-order ads. Day 60 rolls around. You email the factory asking for the tracking number. They reply, "Sorry, we're still waiting on the custom leather. Production will finish in 3 weeks." You panic. Your customers are angry, your ad spend is wasted, and you realize you have been lied to. But here's the insider truth. The factory didn't actually lie to you. You just misunderstood how the manufacturing clock works. Factory owners start the 60-day clock the second the raw materials arrive on the floor. Today, I'm going to walk you through the real timeline of overseas production. I'll break down the 3 hidden delays that factories conveniently leave out of their quotes and how to actually forecast your launch date like a professional. The biggest mistake new brands make is assuming the factory already has everything they need sitting on a shelf. They don't. Footwear factories are assembly hubs. Unless you're using basic, off-the-shelf black canvas, they have to order your specific bill of materials from their sub-suppliers. If you requested a custom Pantone dyed suede, the tannery needs 3 to 4 weeks to process and ship that leather to the factory. If you ordered custom outsoles, the rubber supplier needs 30 days just to cut the steel molds. This is what we call the material buffer. When a factory says 60 days, they mean 60 days of cutting, stitching, and lasting after that custom suede and rubber finally arrive at their loading dock. In reality, your 60-day lead time is actually maybe 90 to 100 days from the moment you pay your deposit. If you don't bake that 30-day material buffer into your calendar or ask the factory to clarify, your entire launch will derail before a single shoe is even on the production line. Many founders operate in the US or Europe assume overseas factories operate on Western schedules. If you are manufacturing in China, Vietnam, or neighboring regions, you have to engineer your entire year around 2 massive blackouts: Chinese New Year in late January to February and Golden Week in October. During CNY, the manufacturing sector doesn't just slow down, it completely stops. Workers go home to their provinces for up to a month or more. Here's the trap. If you place an order in mid-December thinking you'll get it by late February, you're dead in the water. Not only does the factory shut down, but when they reopen, there's a massive backlog of orders. The massive legacy brands get priority on the machines, and your small startup order gets pushed back to the end of the line. If you aren't forecasting your Q1 and Q4 inventory at least 4 months ahead of these blackouts, you're going to run out of stock. Let's say you navigated the material buffer and you beat the holidays. The factory emails you photos of finished shoes in boxes. You breathe a sigh of relief. You think, okay, they just need to put them on a boat. Welcome to ocean freight trap. Just because your shoes are finished doesn't mean they are moving. To get to a cargo ship, your goods have to be trucked to the port, clear export customs, and wait for an empty container. During peak shipping seasons, like the rush before Christmas, your shoes might sit on the dock at the port of Shenzhen or Ho Chi Minh City for 14 to 21 days just waiting for a vessel to have available space. Your production lead time and your landed lead time are 2 very different numbers. A successful brand isn't just about having great design, it's about mastering the calendar. When you just hand a tech pack to the factory and cross your fingers, you're entirely at the mercy of their suppliers, the holiday rush, and port congestion. That's why you need to track the delivery of raw materials, aggressively forecast the global holidays, and book freight forwarders well in advance so your goods don't sit rotting at the port. Subscribe for more supply chain truths, and I'll see you in the next one.